I thought it was so cool to see you in the ring with Cody Rhodes, like to make sure that he would have the clearance to be able to wrestle again. How were you
Yeah.
selected as that guy?
Mhm. So I know Cody had he'd been reaching out and helping me out and giving me like little pointers and telling me when things are good and giving me just talking to me a little bit about certain matches prior to that. And then I know he was getting ready to come back for the Rumble, and he had picked Joe Gacy and myself to kind of work around with him. I think it had a lot to do with Joe Gacy being a little bit bigger, me being a little bit more agile and faster. And then obviously Cody, just wants to get to know us younger talent and stuff like that. But it was a huge honor. And like I said in his documentary, I didn't feel like I was helping him. I felt like he was helping me. He was fine. He was chilling. But I was like, oh my god, okay, all right, this is how these guys do it. Like, this is such a difference when you get in there with guys like that. It's such a difference. Like you're like, oh, this is that pacing. This is that, you know what I mean? This is that energy. This is where you turn it up here. Like I learned a lot with Cody. I really did.
Yeah, is there's like, can you put it into words? Is it a tangible thing that is different when you're on that level that someone like Cody's on?
Experience. He's been
Yeah.
to the mountaintop. You know what I mean? He's done WrestleMania. He's been all around the world. You just kind of over time, you just kind of learn to. It's hard to explain. I think you learn your. I see it with a lot of experienced talent on main roster too. Like even Becky, I watch Becky closely when she's performing at NXT, and I just see all the things that takes years for you to learn and understand. And I see it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's how she does. That's why she does that. Okay, yeah, like she turns it up there, she slows it down here. Like, man, I'm a student of the game. I really am. And I study a lot of those guys and that been to the mountaintop and what makes them, so successful.
I'm sure being a student of the game, you watch a lot of wrestling, not just live, but you watch a lot of wrestling, period. I mean, it's so
Yeah,
accessible now, right? What would you say is the match that you rewatch the most?
good question. That's a good question. I really love all the Eddie Guerrero stuff he did with certain people. You know what I mean? He had a lot of great matches with certain people. I don't. There's not one particular match that I watch a lot. I'll tell you why. I try not to watch too much wrestling because I don't ever want to take things from certain people and become too similar to them. That's something where it's like you don't want to. Like I said, I don't want to be compared. I love all these guys, but I don't want to be like he's the second or he's the next or he reminds me of. Like I don't want that. Really don't. Like I want to be a hybrid of everything that I do, and I want to almost create my own style. Like I want down the road people to be like, oh, like for example, I want to wrestle like Carmelo Hayes, as opposed to
Mm.
being like I want to wrestle like so and so and so and so. So I'm trying to mold my own style, and I try not to get too much influenced by so many people, but I try to pick the little things and not so much the big